Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. You are here with Poi N Soy podcast. I am your co-host, Nolan.
This is Keoni McKeague.
I'm Jared Shirai.
And our special guest today for this segment as well. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Sir Jalen Holsten III, a.k.a. Mocha, a.k.a. the best there's ever been. Noted.
Those are all self-stated labels.
Yes.
We have no part in
None
that.
of us call him those
Very
things.
self-proclaimed.
Mm-hmm. So today's podcast, we're going to be talking about our feelings. That's all we're talking about. Our feelings towards Doctor Strange. Yes, we all just watched Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness, and we have a lot of thoughts, a lot of things that we need to unpack. And we are here to do that with you. This is going to be spoiler heavy. So if you are not, someone who's seen the movie yet, I would recommend not listening to this yet, but come back, join us later on after you've seen the movie. But if you haven't seen it, why are you even starting this video?
Good thing
Why are you even starting this video?
Why are you even
Did you look
starting
at the title?
What are you
Good thing I
doing?
didn't see it. I could just find out
It
all
literally
what
says
happened.
it in the title. It says Multiverse of Madness, Episode 5.
It's your turn, Jalen. Let us hear it.
Well, first of all, I'm glad you found the plot because I didn't see one. Listen, I loved every bit of like nerd-gasmy thing that could have been in this movie, from the reveals to the Jack Kirby art references throughout the entire movie. It looked like a trippy page that you pulled off of his 60 Comments from Doctor Strange. All the costumes look great. All the characters look great. Love that we finally got to see like full tilt Scarlet Witch Wanda. Finally, it's been teased for so long. That was amazing. Obviously, Sam Raimi did a great job. So all that being said, this is coming from one of the most diehard MCU fans. I believe this is Marvel's first failure. Nowhere in this movie. Yes, you heard it here first. This was Marvel's first failure because in this movie there.
But yeah, I think there is a little bit of a consensus here between me and Jalen that we definitely think the movie
I think Keoni's a little there with you too.
Yeah.
I think
It
Keoni's a
had
little
more to
there with you.
offer. I think it definitely still a good movie to watch. I would definitely watch it again.
Yes. Sure.
Oh yeah.
Definitely the horror vibes of it. Oh, classic.
Exactly.
I mean,
Really
this is spoiler heavy, so right when
Like I know I went to the other spectrum with you guys, but I like the way you guys come in looking at it, knowing all the history and all this other stuff, and looking at that as a fan of it, growing up and watching all this stuff. Like I grew up with the original X-Men and everything. Like that's why I was really hoping for it, but no, like I didn't come into it looking at like, oh, but this and this and this, like how you had to see everything. I'm old. I've seen all the things, I'm not gonna lie, I'm old. I've seen all the things, so coming in, I kind of know what's happened from when I was a kid to watching it to yesterday, rather than you guys looking at it in the bigger picture of like the whole MCU like dynasty, I guess you would say. So you guys are looking at that aspect, and like I looked at it as a fan coming in, and like when I said like one of the best movies, like, and I think it had to do a lot with the action, the CGI, and all the all the hidden spoilers of everything thrown in. That's why I went in that direction. But as you guys talk about it, like I can see exactly what you guys are saying. And I can see that side of it as well. And I love like hearing that side of it, because now when I go watch it with Emily, because I went by myself yesterday.
Oh, you did?
I went by myself because she had work.
Wow.
And I told you guys like I had to watch it before this. So
I was gonna say, wow, I'm proud of you, man. Just to get it for the pod, wow.
That's why. And so now when I go watch it with Emily, like, I have all these things to look at, because she's gonna want to see it, and I'm not gonna spoil it for her, but I'm gonna wanna like see these little things.
Spoil it all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
You are horrible. You would not do that to Nicole.
I was gonna say,
we can.
Do you think they're gonna do like a villain team up? Like that's one thing I keep wondering, because they've introduced so many heroes. I'm starting to think that like it'd be pretty difficult to imagine them just taking on one villain at this point.
They do Marvel versus Capcom, and Mega Man comes out of nowhere. No, actually, that would be no. I think that would be the logical way to go next.
That's what I'm thinking.
Why just make it one big bad when you can have a team of guys who are just gonna, ruin your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's also like the Marvel problem though, because it's just how they make their movies. You know what I mean? Like they make their movies about their heroes, and that's cool. Like you can do that. It obviously works. But when you do that, you limit an idea like that from Keoni, whereas DC still has most of theirs retained from all of their movies, whether you liked them or not. Like they can go make an Injustice movie out of nowhere because they still have Lex Luthor, they still have Deathstroke, they still have the Riddler now and Joker and all this stuff. And nothing's like died off and dead. They keep
everything is dead with DC. Ezra Miller screwed
nothing is
up.
dead.
No,
this might be the hottest take, but DC is about to have a
come up in the
next 4 years. Fact.
Zaslav is gonna just
after the Batman. I agree. That
it's coming up.
It took the Batman for me to even think that, because before that, honestly, I was like, you can't make Aquaman the new Thor. You can't just try to force that storyline and make him the new like witty, sarcastic superhero. You have to push this.
Well, you got Jason Momoa. You can. Absolutely.
I do get that, but I was like, honestly, they just need to push the dark tone. I love the dark tone. That's for me. That's DC. DC kills the dark tone, and I love the dark storylines. I think they're so much better than
the DCEU is done.
Two hot takes.
Restore the
Snyderverse.
It's done.
Restore the Snyderverse. Fire.
Okay, Nolan, get us back on track.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Anyway, but yeah, no, I agree, Keoni. I would love to see Marvel do something like that, but it's the problem they have with their movies is that they don't hold on to their villains long enough to do something cool, unless you're talking about like a
exactly.
He's never gonna die, apparently, at this point.
Yeah,
he's always around.
Another variant, step right in. Yeah.
But okay, so what do you think? What are you expecting from Thor now that we've seen this movie? Are there going to be tie-ins, or is it going to be its own fresh thing? What are you guys kind of predicting we may see from Thor: Love and Thunder? Jalen?
I'm wondering how accurate they're going to go with Thor Jane Foster.
Because of the cancer?
Because the whole premise is that she's dying. Yeah, she's dying from cancer. So are they just going to say like, that's the reason that she broke up with Thor is because she got diagnosed, and then that stress plus him being a superhero was like too turmoil. Like it was just why she suffered for so long. Are we only gonna see Thor Jane Foster and we don't get to see regular Natalie Portman? Like, because that's how that's gonna go. That's the most like big question mark. Everything else with Thor, I'm like, it's Taika Waititi doing it again. So yes, here's all of my money.
Yeah, he's so good. Yeah, exactly.
Like he's so good. I'm excited to see Zeus in Olympus.
And I have a theory he's going to die right away.
Zeus?
So
I have a feeling Zeus is going to die right away.
I mean,
because you have Gore the God Butcher.
God Butcher, yeah.
What better way to introduce a God Butcher than to have him butcher a god?
I'm not going to lie. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
So, Keoni.
Sorry.
Did you not see the trailer?
The same thing that happened with Doctor Strange. I stopped trying to watch the trailers because I didn't want anything to be
out there. But yeah, I just watched the trailer. I didn't watch like the breakdown between
Thor's villain. They haven't shown it in the trailers. Is Christian Bale playing Gore the God Butcher?
Oh, he's playing. It's funny because when he was cast, didn't they say he was going to be somebody else? The other version of Thor that kind of looks like a weird alien creature dinosaur thing.
Beta Ray Bill?
Yes.
Beta Ray
I did not know that they cast him as something different.
My bad.
Okay,
Battery
sorry.
Bill?
Beta Ray Bill. There you go.
Battery Bill, yeah.
Battery Bill. Battery Bill.
Battery Bill.
You are ruining this character. Now I'm going to have Battery Bill in my damn head every time I think of his cool name.
The comic book version is a little.
There's Thor or the God Butcher.
Okay.
Okay. He's a little more alien looking in the comics.
Gotcha.
I think someone was saying that he looks very, very close to Ebony Maw from the Avengers.
I was just about to say he very much so.
He really does.
What they did was they made him pretty much just.
He's like a little bit of him and a little bit of Sokotano from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one, from
You-
the
you're
toy
wrong.
releases, it looks like that they just put makeup and scars on him and everything, and he's just a man in a robe.
Oh boy! Now you just got me so excited for this damn movie because Christian Bale.
Who hires Christian Bale to have him CGI the whole time? He's I'm God the God Butcher. I can't wait for him to say that line. He's gonna say it. I'm God the God Butcher.
Oh boy!
I'm also Batman.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited.
Batman.
Okay, now I got you. Context given. I get it now. All right, I'm excited. I'm very excited. Yeah.
So yeah,
It's Taika Waititi.
And it's Taika Waititi. Yeah, exactly.
It's a good role for him because it's someone who, like, technically the backstory is like he has just been wronged his whole life, and he blames it on the gods, and he just goes around just kicking ass and taking names.
So he's the god's Batman. He's just walking around being like, "Where are the drugs going?
I'm vengeance.
I am vengeance."
If he drops the "I am vengeance" in the movie, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Wouldn't that
It's
be
like
so
a
mid?
fourth wall breaking. I am vengeance. He looks in the camera.
He's like, "I am revenge." Can I say that one?
I am justice. I am the dark. No, I mean, shit. I am gold. But it should be good. I'm excited for Thor. I don't foresee any tie-ins to Doctor Strange, to be honest. I don't think there's
neither do I.
anything like that. Jared, what do you think?
Kind of right there with you guys. I'm excited. Like you said, what better way but I don't think Zeus is gonna die right away. I think that's where, like, they show Thor in the trailer going to see Zeus, and then afterwards the scene cuts to where they see like certain people, like, or godlike people dying. So like it's the lead up, but I honestly think it'll be very interesting because they talk about Jane a lot prior to, and now that she's finally in the damn thing, like, and then she comes back wielding the hammer, and the last thing we saw Thor in Endgame was him crying over Jane and being a little bee about it, But
that's true. Actually, he had that moment, and he was like, "We don't even talk
we
anymore."
We didn't really break up, but no, like, I didn't break up with her.
It was mutual.
With her. It was mutual. Yeah.
The only tie-in I could see is that this multiverse thing plays in, and maybe Jane is not from
our
616. Yeah.
Oh,
that is one thing I kept thinking was like maybe because I was like, I feel like you introduce a character like that, maybe it's a little. I mean, it's a little too revealing from the trailer. Obviously, they did that with this whole movie with Multiverse of Madness, but we already knew that was about the multiverse. Yeah. I think this one is like when you reveal a big character like that, maybe they're not from the same world that we're thinking. And honestly, I can't imagine Natalie Portman having signed on for like more than maybe 2, maybe 3 movies. I don't imagine that Thor Jane Foster is going to make it that far into that.
I mean, there was that whole big falling out about it, right? That's why she left them.
After they fired the second. Yeah,
I forgot what the main reason was.
Because they fired the second director, the Thor Dark World director. It was I can't remember the director's name, but they fired her.
It was a female director, the one she wanted to come in, and then they ended up not, creative differences kind of thing.
To be honest, to be fair though, that movie was poo-poo. So I'd be like, Wanda, I know that you're hurting, even though that accent is completely correct. I know that was. I went the other way.
Jarvis.
Well, it started off strong, where I was like, Wanda. That was good.
Yeah, he started off.
Oh, you doing? I know. What are you doing on Wanda?
What you doing, Bob?
This is not what we're about. No.
Oi, Wanda!
Oh my god!
What you doing?
Played by Jason Statham.
I know.
Hey, did you see Jason Statham?
God, can you imagine?
Did you guys see that article though about Jason Statham?
What?
I literally just read an article that Jason Statham might sign on to do like Marvel movies.
I don't know.
I was just about to say. I mean,
they were. It was weird. I just like. I didn't get to read the full article because I was in the middle of something, but I just saw like a snippet of it that said that he was going to sign on to do a Marvel, like be like part of the MCU or something.
That's honestly one thing I feel like is like we talked about it earlier. Jalen touched on it where he said that they might bring in a few unknowns, and then they're kind of like going through this whole rigmarole of actors and actresses. But honestly, if you keep bringing in all these these big A-list actors, I don't know how you can find enough screen time for them to like really develop their characters. Like honestly, that's why I kind of like shows like Echo, because it kind of introducing somebody completely different, and I get a chance to like really be excited about them. But then sometimes when you bring in these big top actors, I'm like kind of thinking it could be very disappointing, could be very exciting.
They got a lot of room to work with. They got to bring in new big heads to the universe itself. They got rid of Iron Man. Captain's not there anymore. Hulk is MIA. Who knows what he's doing other than She-Hulk coming out?
Yeah, exactly.
But, he
apparently pops up.
Apparently he pops up, and he showed up in Shang-Chi as normal Bruce Banner. So I'm like, so you're a human again. And what are we going to see next?
How did I not catch that until just now? Wow, you're right. Yeah, I did not even think about that. So, he was not Professor.
They have so much room to work with where they can bring in big name actors like Namor. They can they're obviously bringing in Adam Warlock, which is going to be exciting to see in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Did you see who they rumored for Warlock?
No,
Warlock is already
casted, right?
Yeah, he's casted. He's Will Poulter.
Love that casting.
Yeah.
Love that casting.
That's a great move.
Love it.
10 out of 10.
Nailed it.
Can you imagine though being from We're the Millers to I'm Adam Warlock?
Honestly, you know what's funny?
No.
You're saying We're the Millers, but the only thing I can think of is freaking Maze Runner where he's like, hey Greenie. And his damn eyebrow just stays up. Hey Greenie. That's the only thing I can think of every time I think of Will Poulter. But honestly, I've seen that he's been getting jacked for the role, and I'm pretty excited for it.
People don't even realize he's also British.
I did not realize that until I seen his interview.
All these Brits, dude. We can't get any Americans in these.
But they're too good.
And then you have Oscar Isaac doing, the British accent. He was pretty dang
good. I think that's the first time that's happened in a long time. Because honestly, it's been a while since we have an American doing a British accent.
Doesn't happen often.
No, yeah, you're right.
But when it does,
no, it does not.
It's gold.
Yeah. But with Thor: Love and Thunder, though, I think the thing with Taika Waititi is like, even in Ragnarok, there was still amazing like character moments where we were dug into Valkyrie. We were dug into that relationship with him and Hulk, where it was like him talking to like a toddler, even in that 5 minutes. So I feel like, again, there's an opportunity here with introducing Jane Foster, call me crazy, where we can actually like kind of piece together why it's been so long since we haven't seen her and develop that awesome new kind of relationship with her and Thor, or if they don't want to like reconcile some things. Like, I think Taika Waititi is the kind of director that can get that done and still make it amazing.
Jojo Rabbit.
A nice little wrap up of like what happened, basically. Just make ends meet.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy they're doing like a little 80s montage workout.
Oh yeah.
Get back in shape, Thor.
Oh yeah.
Like, thank you. Good. I could not handle seeing a whole movie of fat Thor.
Honestly,
Thank the Lord.
Not fat shaming here. However, that sounds like we're not pushing that narrative. We're just saying Thor should be in Thor like. I feel like we're fat shaming. I'm just gonna reverse what we are right now.
We're just, the prosthetics of fat Thor were just a little,
Just say it. Just say it. We pay to see pretty people. Okay, that's the thing. Like, I pay to see pretty people. All right. If I pay for a Thor ticket, I expect 6-pack abs, huge biceps, great blonde flowing hair, a solid jawline,
and not those
baby blue eyes.
And on top of that, he wasn't happy. You know what I'm saying? If he was big Thor, but he was happy, then it's different.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But like, I think I was reading something about it. It is very interesting how in the trailer he does have 2 normal eyes now.
That is true.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
I have
that's the one
about
that that's something that I had read, and I was like, oh, I noticed it, but I was like, have I seen something? And then I read something about it, and I saw it. So I was like,
It's the
that's very
vastness of
interesting.
space. I'm sure there's like some digital like.
I mean,
tuning
maybe Rocket
color
gave
you
him
want.
another. Maybe Rocket stole another eye. You know, you never know.
I'm kind of thinking this is going to be along the lines of Wanda having a Russian accent. You know, they're just expecting us to forget that he had one.
Well, she kind of brings it back when she like gets traumatized.
It's funny you said that because I didn't really hear it, but Bianca said she heard it
a little bit.
It's very
Yeah.
faint
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
with Wanda. Like in spurts, you'll hear it, but like since the initial Ultron movie, they dialed it
Oh
back.
yeah. I mean, what I heard mostly from her voice, but she sounded a lot more like is it Agatha? What is the name? No, what is
the witch?
Yeah.
I think.
Agatha.
Agatha. Yeah.
Oh, it is Agatha. Okay, so I think I felt like
From
okay, so
yes,
I felt like her voice kind of had like that
Agatha.
Agatha timing where she was kind of like more like being poetic in a way, where every time she talked, she was very like, "I am Wanda," like it was more like that. It wasn't so much like Russian, like pushing the whole weird Russian accent out of.
It's Sokovian.
It's Sokovian, whatever.
But I think no, that's true. But I think I mean, they kind of had it come back in spurts a little bit, little hints here and there regarding what it could be.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that recapping Doctor Strange, kind of up and down and how we kind of perceived it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of ifs, ands, or buts kind of going into it. The hype was real.
Mm-hmm.
The hype was let down for most of us.
Yeah.
But it was a good movie overall. I would definitely recommend going to see it to people who haven't seen it. But I mean, if you sat through this whole episode and you haven't seen it, then you are a brave soul.
You just ruined the whole movie for yourself.
You just really don't care about being surprised.
I am sorry. But last thoughts
thanks for the
regarding
support.
Doctor Strange.
We appreciate the support.
And moving forward in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Jalen, we'll start you off.
I think again, I hope we kind of see him morph into more of like the leader of the Avengers or like mentor role, and it's not so much like all about Doctor Strange all the time, unless they're really going to kind of do what they did with Thor and maybe reinterpret what the character should be to make it more interesting, because that's kind of how I feel he's in right now. Like the first two Thor movies, I was kind of like, whatever, Chris Hemsworth's great. And then Taika Waititi comes in with this different take on the character and where he wants to take it. And now I'm like, dude, I have to have Thor all the time because of how Chris Hemsworth loves to play the character now. So maybe something like that, going forward for Doctor Strange, just get some new ideas, new direction in there, maybe change up kind of how he's used a little bit,
Jared, your thoughts?
I like we said, going forward, I think there has to be a Doctor Strange 3, like just to sum things up the way it ended. But I'm okay with them not having, because like Jalen said, him taking on that role, I mean, in Spider-Man No Way Home, he pops in almost a lot of different movies. He pops in and just like he's still an important character. You know who he is, what he is, and what he does, but he doesn't have that like I'll take it right out of Jalen. He doesn't have that Thor, I need to see it, I want to see it. You need to have your own type of series kind of character for me. So going forward, I mean,
but yeah, thank you everyone for joining us on this podcast about Doctor Strange, as well as going over our thoughts moving forward in the MCU, a little bit on Thor, Love and Thunder. Jalen, thank you for being here. Our comic book authority.
Round of applause for Jalen. Bang, bang.
We definitely plan to have you back again. You have been a very gracious guest. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Jalen Holsten. It's pretty straightforward. Commission list should be opening up here pretty soon for all the people that want some red hot nerdy art and whatnot. We'll be adding lewds with an L, not an N, to this summer's catalog of things. So if you're looking for something a little spicy, you know what I mean, let me know. But other than that, stream on Twitch as well at Art by Jalen on there whenever I'm live streaming, sketching, doing whatever. And yeah, pretty much it.
Keoni, where can the people find you?
on everything. Keoni, KAYOHKNEE. That's Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, whatever. I don't care. Let's talk about Jalen some more.
Darren, where can the people find you?
I am at Shirai, Instagram and Twitch, and Shirai808 on Twitter. But if you go to my Instagram, it has all the links there, so you're all good to go.
And I am Nolan. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all the good stuff. Nolan KYT, NOLAN KYT. Thank you again for joining us on this episode of our Poi N Soy podcast. We appreciate all the love and support. If you guys have anything that you guys want to, recommend, advice, tips, we are open to it. We are still young in this game, and we are just trying to get things moving forward. Other than that, once again, appreciate all the love. See you guys next time. Good vibes and love, everybody.